Hi guys, this is Ramchandra. Having 10 plus years experience as a Java trainer, as well as around 7 years experience as a Java developer. Today, I'm going to give you in detail explanation about what exactly this course contains and the usage of this course. Nowadays, if you want to get the job, we require course like Springboard Microservices, and learning Springboard and microservices are not sufficient to working in the company. Along with Springboard and microservices, we required real-time tools. So in this course, I'm not only teaching Springboard and microservices, but also I'm going to teach real-time tools. I'm going to explain what are the tools we are going to see. We are going to learn in our course. I'm going to explain. That is the main motive of today's session. And nowadays, one more important point here is, nowadays, IT recruiters or IT companies are not recruiting for front-end developers, for back-end developers separately. There is a concept like full stack developers. Nothing but the person who knows front-end, web application development process, as well as back-end application development process. The person who knows both the areas, those persons are getting the job quickly compared to the other people. And also their salary also very, very high compared to other people. So as a part of front end, I'm going to discuss Angular part also. How to integrate our back end with the front end, nothing but how to integrate our Springboard microservices with Angular. So you're going to learn not only Springboard and microservices, but also you are going to learn, I'm going to spend around 5 to 6 hours of time on top of the Angular. And also I'm going to spend around 10 to 12 hours on top of the real-time tools. So how I'm going to schedule this course, let me explain in detail. If you have any queries related to content or related to any course topic, you can ask me at the end of the session. And very, very important here, this course is the last step and the last end point to get into the company. This course, people might be cover like a core Java, advanced Java, Spring. People might be aware about core Java, advanced Java, Spring. Nowadays, to enter into any IT industry or enter into any company, one of the major course, that is Springboard microservices. Basically, Springboard microservices and real-time tools are the two separate courses, but I'm adding these two as a single course. The reason is, with the support of Springboard microservice knowledge, you can get the job, but you can't sustain in the company. So we required both the things. So I'm going to teach everything: front end, back end, real-time tools. Okay. Now, observe guys, how I'm going to design this course. Basically, the Springboard microservices course, Springboard and microservices course, I classified into 6 parts here. I categorized it into 6 parts. The first part is overview of overview of Spring. Without knowledge, Spring, without knowledge means with the support of basic knowledge of the Spring, we can able to understand Springboard. Most of the people telling like without knowledge Spring, you can't work with the Springboard. Don't worry, I will manage. So whatever the things required from the Spring, those things we are going to discuss as a part of our course. Spring overview and introduction of Springboard. Introduction of Springboard and basics. So this is the main important concept. This part is very important to get the knowledge about Springboard microservices. So we must and should be strong in this position to learn advanced Java, what we required, core Java. To learn Spring, what we required, advanced Java. Like that, if you want to become a master, in Spring Boot and microservices, first we should very good at this part. Once we good at this part, we will moving into Spring MVC. We will moving into Spring MVC. Every point I'm going to discuss, wait for 15 to 20 minutes, then you can get the clarity on Spring Boot microservices. Then you get the clarity and content of Spring Boot microservices. Okay, so a lot of people are delivering, but I told you already, the initial stage of demo, I have 11 plus years experience as a Java trainer. So explanation wise, you don't have any problem. And around 7 years experience as a Java developer. So whatever the things happening in the company, as it is, I'm going to deliver the subject. See, getting knowledge is not a big task, but sustain as a developer, Java developer in the market is big deal. That's why I comes with a very practical explanation. Whatever the programs we are going to see, everything belongs to real time only. Our way of delivering and way of explanation, everything belongs to real time projects only. After completion of the Spring MVC, I'm going to discuss about Spring Data JPA. Spring Data JPA. This is the third part. And the fourth part is your Restful Services. Fourth part is your Restful Services. And the fifth part is Microservices. Fifth part is Microservices. And sixth part is real-time tools. Real-time tools. Already I told you, this is the separate course. But as a developer, as an experienced person, I knew the value of this course. That's why I'm adding this around 12 to 13 real-time tools we are going to learn along with the Spring Boot and microservices. And also, I'm going to give knowledge on Angular. I'm going to give knowledge on Angular. So Angular overview. So these are the main 7 parts which we are going to cover in Spring Boot microservices. Along with these things, we have security. That is the part of MVC. Lot of internal content we have. So first, let me introduce what are the things we are going to learn under these 6 parts, especially 7 parts. So this is the up to 6, these are the back end parts, 7 is the front end part. So what are you going to learn in the first 6 parts? In the first 6 parts. So please be concentrate. Please be concentrate. So in the first session, under the part of Spring and overview of Spring and introduction of Springboard, we are going to learn what is that? Advantage and disadvantage of Spring. Based on this concept, we can understand why should we learn Springboard. For example, before 4 years and 3 years, people used to develop applications by using the Spring. So they are doing the same work, not only one developer, multiple developers, entire team, not only in one company, throughout the world, doing the same activity in every project, in every application. To overcome that, we have a Springboard. What are those activities which are doing by every developer in the companies? What are the repeated tasks are doing by the developers in while developing the project? Those things we are going to understand. To overcome those things, we are go for understanding Springboard. Anyhow, that we are going to discuss actual sessions of Springboard. Now, after that, I'm going to introduce overview of Springboard, or you can say like introduction of Springboard. After introducing Springboard, then you can understand advantage and disadvantage of Springboard. After understanding advantage and disadvantage of Springboard, you can understand differences between Spring and Springboard. Guys, to be honestly I'm speaking, once we developing the first program, you people are starting hating Spring. You guys are showing interest to developing the programs on Springboard. Sir, Springboard is a separate framework? No, man. It's just a different type of developing Spring application. Different way of developing Spring application is what is Springboard. Springboard is not a separate framework. It is a different kind of development process of Spring application. Once we start the program on Springboard, you people likes Springboard application. You people starts hate what your Spring. That much of beauty you can see in our Springboard classes. Will you please mute your mics? If you have any queries, you can ask me at the end of the session. I will spend more and more time. Don't worry. After completion of all your queries, I will wind up the session. Okay? Yeah. No, yeah. And one more thing, if you want to know about more and more about me, you can Google it, go to YouTube and search who is this Ramchandra. Okay? And let's come to our actual business. So first I'm introducing overview of Spring. Under the overview of Spring, we are going to see advantage and disadvantage of Spring. After that, I'm introducing Springboard, advantage and disadvantage of the Springboard. And after that, we are going to see actual differences between Spring and Springboard. After learning Spring and Springboard differences, I'm going to introduce how to develop Springboard applications. How to develop Springboard applications. See guys, better to learn Springboard and microservices with real-time standards. Don't be learn this course as a core Java and advanced Java. So I told you already, I mentioned this statement. This is the last course to get into the company. This is the last course to get the job as a Java software developer in the market. Okay, so in the fifth step, we are going to see how to develop Springboard applications. There are two approaches, Spring Initializers and Spring Tool Suite IDEs. So there are two approaches to developing Springboard applications. As a Java software developer, we are used to and we are like to developing applications by using STS, Spring Tool Suite IDE only. Please mute your mics. Okay, remaining people got disturbance. Will you please mute your mics? Thank you, guys. Yeah. Next one. After that, while working with the Spring, we are very much confusing about jars, how to handle the jars. Even though we are using Maven, even though we are using project build tool like Maven, sometimes we are facing problems. Maybe it belongs to versions, maybe belongs to some jar compatibility. Okay. So, and maybe we must and should be have good idea to work with Spring jars. But if it comes to the Springboard, there is a concept like a startup. There is a concept like starters. So by using these starters, we can able to develop any kind of applications. Like I want to develop a standalone application. We have a Springboard starter. This is for standalone. No, sir. I want to develop web application, Spring Boot web. I want to develop Spring Boot starter web. I want to develop some reactive programming. One of the beauty which was launched, okay, in Spring 5, that is what here. Come on, reactive programming. Sir, I want to work with, will you please mute your systems here? It's my request. Okay, thank you. If you want to work with reactive programming, we have a concept like a webpack starter. Okay, if you want to do some testings, see, whenever we hand over our project to what is that, SIT team or QA team, and we have a different teams in the company, like dev environment, or you can say like a dev team and UAT team, as well as SIT team, as well as pilot team, that we can calling as pre-production, and after that production, all the things we are going to learn, don't worry. So whenever we hand over our project to the testing team, you can calling as QA or SIT. If you feel like it difficult, you can simply calling as the testing team. Before hand over a project to testers, we are going to do some unit testing. For do that unit testing, we have some what we can calling as Spring Boot starter test. So like this Spring Boot, if you want to work with, if you want to interacting with the databases like MongoDB or what we can call Oracle or anything, then we have a one more starter like a Spring Boot starter, Spring Boot starter, what we can call it JPA. See guys, if you observe my screen, this is my whatever the Spring Boot which is running in currently. See all these programs. See, it's very aroundly we are going to see 100 and 120 programs in Spring Boot and microservices with real-time standards. So I'm going to provide everyday class notes as well as programs as well as images, and at the end of this course I'm going to share my original documentation. Okay, now see, don't worry about the programming. Programming is very simple. Just concentrate on theoretical first. So after completion of these things, we are going to learn auto configurations. Auto configurations, one of the very important feature in Spring Boot, auto configuration in Spring Boot. See, if you while working with the Spring, we used to configure each and every class either by using XMLs or by using what we can calling as annotations. But if it comes to the Spring Boot, auto configurations are available. Like if you want to work with, like you have a dispatcher servlet, if you want to handle the request, handler mappers, views, view resolver, as well as views and model and lot of components are automatically configured in the Spring Boot. Along with this auto configuration, we are going to see first application internals in what we can calling a Spring Boot. First application internals in Spring Boot. So I want to give you a small idea. Most of the people thinks like first application internals means what is there in the first application. In the first application, lot of things are there. To understand this line of code, Spring application.run, to understand this line of code, we are going to spend around 6 to 7 hours of time. In these 6 to 7 hours of time, you can understand what are the listeners are there, what are the banners are there, what are the profiles are there, and what are the different things are evolved in our Spring Boot. You can understand by learning that line of code. So that point I'm going to discuss first application internals in Spring Boot. Will you please mute your mics? It's my kindly request, guys. Okay. So this is the first thing. After that, we are going to understand what is IO container. Please mute your systems, guys. Yeah. After that, we are going to understand what is IOC container and what is a dependency injection. What is a dependency injection? We have a different types of injection. You might be aware about these type of things in Spring. The same things we are using here also. like a setter injection, after that constructor injection, after that we can calling as a field injection. So different types of injection we are going to see by using dependency injection concept. After that, we are going to see some stereotypes annotations. After we are going to see stereotypes annotation at the rate component, at the rate control, at the rate repository, at the rate service, at the rate configuration, and at the rate like this, we are going to see lot of annotation as a part of stereotype annotation. Without having annotation concept, you can't developing the Springboard. See, according to whatever the knowledge I have, I can simply say like this: learning core and advanced is difficult than learning Springboard. That means if you have a proper knowledge on core and advanced, learning Springboard is what you're after all. After that, auto wiring concept. After that, auto wiring. So like this, we are going to see lot of things. After developing all this, after learning all these things, how to work with the banners, how to work with the listeners, how to work with the banners, how to work with the listeners. And after that, finally, we are going to do some testing. For that, we are going to learn JUnit 5 with Mockito. We are going to learn one tool like a JUnit 5 with Mockito. And after developing the code, what we people are doing in the company, we are storing in what we can calling as version management tool, project management tool, like we are using like a GitHub. To learn GitHub, what are the things we have? Git bash we are going to learn, Git GUI we are going to learn, and Bitbucket also I'm going to tell you, and also source tree. These are the 5 things are part of the only one. So testing we are going to see. In this testing, I'm going to tell you like testing as well as logging on standalone application. This is purely belongs to standalone. First part is purely belongs to standalone. The application which is providing the response to only one end user at a time is called standalone. Got the point or not? So a lot of things we are going to see in this concept. Okay, and listeners, banners, and as well as profiles also there. Let me tell you like profiles. In our IT company, each and every team maintaining one profile. Each and every team maintaining one profile. For dev team, one profile. Nothing but our configuration details. So more clarity you are going to see in coming classes. Okay, so these are the main topics which I'm going to cover as a part of overview of Spring and introduction of Springboard and basics. Once we become a master in this concept, then we are moving into Spring MVC. The actual cinema starts from Spring MVC. The real world applications are always depends upon Spring MVC. So in this Spring MVC, I'm going to introduce first Springboard MVC. In this Springboard MVC, first I'm going to explain what is Spring MVC. Okay, Spring MVC introduction I'm going to give, and based on this point, we can understand what is layered architecture. What is layer architecture? What type of architectures are we using to developing application in our companies? As an experienced person, I'm going to handle all these things with clarity. Don't worry. Now, one more point. We are going to learn Spring MVC architecture. Very, very important. Very important. Around 1.5 hour discussion we have about the Spring MVC architecture. Once we become this concept, working with the Spring MVC, Restful Services, Microservices become very, very simple. Based on the Spring MVC concept, entire remaining course will be depends. Okay. Now, after understanding the Spring MVC, later I'm going to explain how to handle controls, front controllers, handler mappers, view resolvers, handler mappers, view resolvers, views, okay, model and view. So like this, a lot of things we are going to learn as a part of MVC. After that, we are going to see embedded servers. See guys, while working with any other frameworks, we have to use servers and databases separately. The beauty of the Spring Boot is, we have a embedded databases. We have a embedded servers. Jetty, the embedded means once you run web application, Spring Web MVC application, automatically we will get what we can calling as a servers. That is called embedded servers. If you observe this one, see, my Tomcat is automatically running. I'm not using any Tomcat, but automatically the Tomcat is giving by what? Our Spring Boot. That is the beauty of the Spring Boot. Not only Tomcat, but also these are providing what? Databases, embedded databases. Okay, we are going to see how to deals with MySQL, how to deals with Oracle, how to deals with H2 database, how to deals with MongoDB itself. In this course, we are going to see MongoDB, and also we are going to see distributed cache like Redis cache. Okay, so we have embedded servers like Jetty, Tomcat, and everything. After that, after learning all these basics, then we are going to see how to see Spring Boot MVC is very much flexible, having very much flexibility to work with .htmls, nothing but a presentation layer, .jsp's and .timeleaf. So like this, we have different technologies, different presentation technologies. Different presentation technologies our Spring Boot is going to support. Got it? So after that I'm going to introduce how to handle the exceptions. Exception handling in MVC. In this part also, how to handle the exception in standalone applications and how to handle the applications in web also. After learning exception handling in MVC, we are going to see project ready-made feature. That is called actuators. So once we deploying project into the production server, how our application is running, what is the thread dump, heap dump, how many beans are there, how is our health, is our server is start up or start down. So all these things, HTTP trace, health, info, each and everything we are going to see actuators. To working with the actuators, I'm going to give one tool also. Admin server and admin client, that I'm going to cover in the microservices. So after completion of all these actuators, again I'm going to show you how to do the logging in a MVC, in web application, how to do the testing in web MVC, how to do the logging on MVC as well as MVC based application, nothing but web application, and how to do the testing also. After completion of the Spring MVC, I'm going to introduce Spring Data JPA. So in the Spring Data JPA, I'm going to give you overview of JDBC. After that, overview of Spring JDBC. What is the difference between JDBC and Spring JDBC? We have a concept like a Hibernate. Okay, then why Spring contains Spring ORM, overview of Hibernate and Spring ORM. After that, the beauty is coming into the picture, Spring Data JPA introduction. So we have a proper flow to understand each and every point clearly with real-time standards. After completion of introduction of Spring Data JPA, then I'm going to give you how to work with the Spring Data JPA. We have a different repositories like CURD repository and JPA repository, CURD repository, JPA repository. After that, we are going to see sorting. Sorting means, paging, sorting and pagination. So whenever you search any product in the Flipkart, or Amazon, okay, whenever you search any product from Flipkart or Amazon, simply you have a lot of options for searching. I need a product. I need a product which cost more than 10,000 rupees. Which product cost is more than 10,000 rupees. See, there is an option like somewhere else. I will show you. See, while working with the Flipkart, the things, whenever we searching any particular product, let me search one product like mobile. Hanged. Yeah. So will you please observe, guys? Carefully observe. If you scroll down, see what is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are what your pages. In the first page, we are going to see some product details. This is called pagination. All very useful concept, pagination. Instead of fetching all the data, from the database, we are fetching few data. What is the advantage? You are going to see in the Springboard data JPA concept. And see, I want to sort the products either ascending order or descending order. I want to know the mobile which are starting from 5,000 to 50,000 order wise. That is called sorting. How to do the sorting? How to do the pagination? That we are going to learn under the Spring Data JPA. And after that, generators. How to generate the ID for our products, how to generate the ID for anything, primary key, and custom generators, our own generators. Okay. Now, after that, embedded servers, embedded database. Okay, H2 database comes as a embedded database, temporary database. Once our application is starting, then our database is coming into the picture. Nothing but Springboard will provide the database. After completion of our work, nothing but our application execution stop, the database is going to destroy. Then what is the advantage for POC? While you working in companies, sometimes our team lead or project lead or manager is asking to learn some new projects or learn some new concept. So directly we are not applying those concepts in our projects. First, we are doing some POC, proof of concept, or program on concept. So for that purpose, we are using temporary databases. Got it? So after understanding these embedded databases, I'm going to give you combination of Spring MVC and Spring Data JPA application. In the real time, we are always using what are combination of these two. Only web application, no use. Web application with database interaction is useful. Yes. After completion of Spring Data JPA, then concept is coming into the picture. Restful services. Now, very simply, you can understand Restful services. It's like a distributed. One application is communicating with another application without knowledge on what language used to develop that application. Nothing but cross-platform, cross-language, cross-platform. For example, I'm booking one product from Flipkart. Then it will communicating with the PayPal money brokers applications. That PayPal money brokers application will communicating with what bank's application. So maybe bank application is developing on top of the .NET, Flipkart developing on top of the Java. These two applications are going to interacting with the support of what? Restful services. Nothing but web services coming into this picture. Initially, we people are using JAX, WS, JAX, RPC, Java provided implementation we are using to developing distributed application. But the beauty is Springboard comes with what? Web services that we are considered as RESTful services in Spring. Okay, in RESTful services, we are going to see what is a distributed application, what is web application, what is distributed application, what is web application, and what is distributed application. After that, RESTful services, RESTful web service architecture, RESTful web service architecture. Once you good at MVC, working with the RESTful services is after all. MVC with 5 rules. MVC with 5 rules is nothing but RESTful services. Okay, in the RESTful web services, we are understand RESTful principles. These are the 5 rules. These are what here? 5 rules. By using these 5 rules, we can understand how to work with the real-time projects. After that, I'm going to explain how to work with the JSON and how to work with the XMLs, how to work with the XML and what is marshalling, what is unmarshalling. Lot of small concept we are going to cover in our RESTful services, and working with the differences between JSON and XML, which one is preferred, which one is not useful. Okay, after that we are going to learn HTTP protocol methods. HTTP protocol methods. When should we go for get? When should we go for put? When should we go for post? When should we go for delete? Don't be think like for getting means retrieving, put means updating, post means inserting, delete means deleting. Don't we think like that in a simple way. Lot of very useful concept I'm going to give you in this session. Very useful. Okay, RESTful services, mainly 5 principles I told you. Those, one of the principle is what you have protocol methods. Every request should be bind with one HTTP protocol method. What is the advantage? We'll see in regular sessions. After that, HTTP status 200, 400, 404, 403, 500. When do you get 200? When do you get 404? When do you get 403? When do you get 500? So server internal exception. When do you get those things? We'll see in coming classes. After that, yes, there is a component like a REST controller. There is a annotation like a REST controller. With the help of this thing only, we can make our component as a REST controller. We'll see what is that. At the rate of REST controller, at the rate of REST request body, response body, okay, post mapping, get mapping, request param, path variable. Like this, a lot of concept involved in the RESTful services. After that, what is consumers? What type of output expecting from end user? What type of outputs are giving by what producers, not products, producers? What type of output structure is giving by the application? What type of in which format end user expecting data from the application? In which format application is provided the information? What is content type, headers, everything we are going to see as a part of RESTful services. Okay, along in these RESTful services, I'm going to teach you Spring security, Springboard security. Okay, we have a different security like inline security, in-memory security. Sorry to use the wrong word. In-memory security. Next one, JDBC security. Next one, user credentials. Okay, in the user credentials, you might use one of the very important concept like JWT, token based security, OAuth. Whenever we log into any one website, it will asking, sometimes it will asking, are you logging in this website through Google, through Gmail, or through Facebook? Like this, it will asking. If you are in, I will show you practically, don't worry. If you log in into any website, if you are new to that website, it will giving some alternatives. You can log in through your Facebook ID. You can log in through your Gmail ID. So that is OAuth. By using OAuth, we can able to do that. Okay, later. So like this, a lot of things we are going to see. What is mono objects? How to give these are entirely depend upon responses. Mono objects. Next one is flex object. Continuous outputs. For example, stock market. Second by second, the what is that? Data will be changes. How the second by second will be coming to subscriber. Subscriber means who need data from the NSC stock marketing. Okay, who needs data from the stock marketing? That is called a subscribe. Provider and subscriber. So there we are using flex objects. Mono objects, flex objects. So like this, lot of components we are going to see. After that, for example, already one REST API is there. Already some services are there. I want to develop to get the services. I want to develop one project to get the services. That is called REST client. You can't understand at this stage. If you have a experience already little 1 year, 2 year in the real time, then you can understand this type of terminology. But in the as an introduction point, you can't understand. In coming classes, you can see REST template for developing REST client and web client, REST client, web client, differences between REST client and web client, synchronous calls, asynchronous calls, synchronous calls, asynchronous calls, sync and asynchronous calls, asynchronous calls. Like this, we are going to see lot of real-time concepts. Okay. Now, this is what exactly RESTful services. Once we have a knowledge on what is that RESTful services, now we will moving into microservices. Microservices is not a software. Microservices is not a framework. Microservices is not a what is that anything like a server. It's one approach. It's one approaches to developing application. Basically, we people are developing application by using monolithical means monolithic architecture. So everything, entire service, all the, for example, if a project contains 1,000 services, all the 1,000 services we are developing as an application. But if it comes to the microservices, every services is one application. Every service is one API. That is called microservices. That is called microservices. So Facebook is a monolithical, the best example, monolithical. All the services are combining. But nowadays, people are, Java developers are migrating monolithical architecture application to microservice architecture applications. So what is monolithic architecture? Okay, after that, load balancer. Okay, load balancer. In the load balancer, we have some algorithms. Round robin algorithm, high passing algorithm, sticky session algorithm. Like this, we have different algorithms. After that, drawbacks of monolithical architecture. After that, I'm going to introduce microservices. Introduction of microservices. Once we aware about all these things, learning microservices is what very simple. Okay. After that, in this, we have different what we can calling as clients, admin server, admin client, auto scaling. So scaling concept, nothing but, for example, whenever Amazon providing big deal offer, so in that time, lakhs of people's, millions, trillions of people are making a request to Amazon application. Then what about the server? It may die. It may feel burden. Then how to increase the capacity of that application server? So that concept is scaling. If the less numbers of requests, I want to scale down. Resources I want to reduce. If the number of requests are increases, I want to scale up. That is called scale up, scale down. Okay, again, scaling two types: horizontal scaling, vertical scaling. Vertical scaling means within the system only increase the capacity. 1 GB hard disk, I am improving into 2 GB. 4 GB RAM, I'm increasing into 8 GB. Okay, 512 GB hard disk, I'm increasing into 1024 hard disk, 1 TB hard disk. Like that, we can able to develop. So later we can see like admin server. So these are the different wording you can't understand without having knowledge. As a demo. Okay, not in regular classes. Admin server, admin client, and distributed logging like Slate, as well as Jipkin, and before that, I'm going to give you like reactive programming. Like this, we are going to see these many things. This is what exactly whatever the Prakalpana management provide the course. This is the course which are given by the Prakalpana. Along with these things, I'm going to give you one more. What is that? Real-time tools. So here we are going to learn different types of real-time tools. Maven. This is the build tool. Nothing but to developing our applications. To handle our jars, to handle our transitive dependencies, we are using Maven tool. After that, repository. For that purpose, I'm telling like GitHub. Initially people are using SVN, but people nowadays using GitHub. Bitbucket. If you learn GitHub, Bitbucket is simple. We are going to learn GitHub in two ways: Git GUI and Git Bash. After learning Git GUI, Git Bash, we are going to learn source tree. We are going to learn source tree. On my desktop only we have. See, if you observe my console, Git GUI, Git Bash, and if you observe my source tree, this is UI of Bitbucket. So we are going to see different tools of related to repository. After that, project management tool. So project management tool, how to assign task by the, what is that, team lead or manager, and how to get the task from our bulk of tasks. What is backlog grooming? What is sprint? What is sprint meeting? Okay, so here I'm going to tell you Jira. Before telling about the Jira, I want to tell you one of the very and trendy useful SDLC lifecycle. That is what Agile methodology. That is what here Agile methodology. Agile, nowadays people, most of the companies are using Agile methodology. Once you understand the Agile methodology, we can understanding what Jira. It's a very simple concept. After that, logging tools. What is that? Log4j, Log4j, Log4j2, Log4j, Log4j2. Okay, logback. These are the things I'm going to tell you. And a log monitoring tool. For example, our application server in USA, we are in India. So if while end user using that application, some problems rises. So those problems are storing in the server related system, which is available in the USA. Then how can we monitoring those error message? Those are in the form of logs. We'll see. Okay, how to monitoring those logs. That is with the help of WinSCP. Okay. Now, after that, basically, we are in the real time, we are using Splunk. Splunk is a licensed version. So we can't use as a learning way. So that we are using in the real time. So compared to the WinSCP, Splunk will giving more flexibility, more advantages. Okay, once you're aware about WinSCP, once you join in the real time, working with the Splunk is just 5 minutes, 10 minutes job. That's enough. Okay, after that, testing purpose, I'm going to tell you JUnit 5 with Mockito. Easy mocking, power mocking, easy mocking, power mocking, this type of mocking concepts we have. After that, we are going to see code coverage tool. How much what we can calling as code we tested. See, in the real time, 85% code should be tested before giving our code to the testers. Once our code is tested 85%, then only that code will be eligible for testing. Then how to do the testing in the real time? By using Jacoco, code coverage tool. Okay. Next one, code review tool. Code review tool means while developing the project, some freshers are there, some experiencers are there. Experienced people knew about how to write the code. For freshers, they don't know. So whatever the code developing by the fresher, everything is checking by the team lead and colleagues is very difficult. So that's why maybe a fresher might be doing the mistake like writing the duplicate code. So general mistake is, I think so, if you have a core Java knowledge, if some method written some string value, some method written like a string value, like string name equal to some repository dot find by name. Some method is there. It method returns what here, some string value. Okay, now I want to return that value to some other caller. So we people are writing 2 lines of code, but actually how to write this code? Return repo dot find by name. That means fresher is going to write 2 lines of code, experienced person is going to write 1 line of code. If you are using If you're using Sonar Cube, then it is very helpful to the fresher. Hey, Mr. Assume I'm a fresher. Assume like that. Hey, Mr. Ram, you are using 2 lines of code. This is not good coding. Better to use the Sonar Cube. If you are using Sonar Cube, it will give what suggestions. Don't do like that. It may be affected to your performance. Better to write like this. So that type of flexibility giving by this Sonar Cube. And after that, deployment tools, continuous integration and continuous deployment. Continuous integration and continuous deployment. That is called Jenkins. How to work with the Jenkins, I'm going to tell you. Okay, and performance testing. Okay, everything is doing by, to be honestly, I'm speaking, whatever the tools I mentioned here, everything must and should be doing by the each and every program in the IT company. If you don't have experience, let me believe, will you please believe my wording? As an experience, I'm telling, every day I'm going to use all these things. Okay, and testing, performance testing, we are using Gmeter for 1,000 requests. In which what is the response time? If application getting 1 lakh request, then what is the response time? If application getting only 1 request, what is the response time? To understand that response time of an application, response means what? Performance. So I asked one question, within the 1 minute if you reply, then you are a good learner. Even though I given 1 day, if you are not replying, you are not a good learner. So that is what your performance. So Gmeter is useful for performance. So these many things we are going to learn in our classes. Okay, this is what exactly. And finally, how to integrate our Spring Boot application with Angular. Spring Boot application with Angular. Now let's come to data JPA. Now I'm going to show you interaction with MongoDB. First, I'm going to teach you MongoDB. MongoDB basics I want to teach you around 2.5 hours and 3 hours. After that, I'm going to show you how to work with the MongoDB in data JPA. And also, I'm going to tell you integration of multiple databases at a time. Working with multiple databases. It is a little difficult, but I will make it as simple. Don't worry. Working with the multiple databases. Okay. For example, our application is working with one database. Suddenly there is a problem in the database. Then what happens? If an application is going shut down, then crores of rupees will be lost by the application. Nothing but management. So if one database is got failure, then how can we make a request to the other databases? That is what circuit breaking. That is what your circuit breaking. So circuit breaking. Okay, this is called, comes under historic. This is comes under what here? Historic. We'll see how to, with the help of circuit breaking, how to work with the multiple databases at a time. Okay, and ribbons. It is one different type of concept. Ribbons. Okay, I'm writing ribbons, circuiting multiple database. Let me tell you in this area. Okay, the microservices. I'm teaching these things. So now if you observe my programming, see initially Springboard, if you observe will you please concentrate on my screen. See, initially observe here up to this one, up to 5 programs. 5 programs means don't be think like only 5 programs. Lot of sub programs also there. Up to 5 programs. So see currently whatever the way I'm teaching in my remaining Springboard microservice classes, I'm just showing. Okay, after that Spring Data JPA. After completion of the Spring Data JPA, and we are moving into MVC. After moving into the MVC, later we are working with the REST. After working with the REST, we are working with what here? Microservices. We are working with the microservices. Yes, I forgot to tell you one thing, my dear guys. That is very important. What is that? Spring Cloud. How to launch our application into the Spring. Sorry, how to launch our application into the cloud. Deploying into cloud. Now here I'm using Amazon Web Services. Here I'm using Heroku. How to deploy our project into AWS. How to deploy our project into Heroku. This is cloud, Spring Cloud. See, if you want to develop an application and providing the services to customer, then I need separate database. I need separate server. I need separate laptop. I need separate hard disk, memory I required. So lot of things are involved, but I don't have that much of money, but I want to do the business. Then how? That is the beauty of cloud computing. Okay, AWS and Hero. I'm going to show you how to work with AWS and Hero. So lot of things, whatever the things which I'm currently using in my project, everything I'm going to show you with practical. So theory means everywhere available here. If you see, we people are calling it as Google mother, Google father. So once you have a Google, theoretically, not a problem. Everything is available. But if you want to sustain in the market as a Java software developer, we must and should be good at coding. 90% of the coding, I'm not telling like 100. The reason is, to be honest, I'm speaking, I don't want to speak like 90% of coding I'm going to write in front of you only. Some few programs, nothing but which are you can say like Redis, lot of annotations, lot of internals, around 400, 500 lines. Writing 400, 500 lines within the class, it will take one week of time. So to avoiding time consuming problem, few programs, like 4 to 5 programs, I'm going to copy. The remaining rest of the thing, everything, each and every line of code, I'm going to write in front of you only. Okay, how to create a account in AWS, how to deploy our project into AWS, how other people can able to accessing that application. I will give you links. You can able to access my applications also. We'll see that beauty. How work will be assigned to our team, like by using Jira, everything we are going to see. And also I want to tell you something like a Docker. I forgot to tell this one. So how to work with the Docker, how to create the image. Okay, how to create the Docker container, Docker file, Docker image. All these things we are going to see as a part of Springboard microservices. Sir, you told like demo. You are telling all these things. Okay, see guys, whenever we are going to any restaurant, first we are doing, what is that? What we can calling as, first we are aware about that restaurant. Once that restaurant is good or not, what type of items are there, which one is the best, which one is the good, what about the price, everything will be considered. So once we go to restaurant and once we go to movie, so nowadays people are using Netflix, Amazon Prime and everything. Nobody is going to due to this corona pandemic, nobody will be visiting what is the cinema theater physically. Everybody watching cinemas in the online only. Assume there is no online. If you want to see one movie, first you are going to asking to your friends or relatives, is this movie good or not? Once that movie is good, then only we are going. So blindly learning Spring and Spring with microservices, Springboard with microservices, I given what is there in that concept, what is there in that what we can calling as a course. Okay, so here one thing here, to learn Springboard with microservices, you must and should be aware about core Java. If you don't know about core Java, I'm helpless, guys. Okay, and a basic knowledge about the databases and a basic knowledge about the servers. If we have these things, I can cope up, I can handle. But so already I told you, I have 11 plus years experience as a Java trainer. I know how to teach the students. That's why I'm telling, maybe this guy is speaking lies. That's what I given what open challenge, like you can go through YouTube and mention like Ramchandra Space Java. So from 2009, I has been teaching this. Especially I started my career as a trainer, Java trainer in 2009. Still I'm continuing with that. Okay. Now I want to tell you one thing, guys. I'm always maintaining some display like starting time and ending time. Once it is 11, it will be starts with 11. Once it is the morning 7, it will be starts morning 7 or 7:1, 7:2. Daily, I'm taking 1 hour of time. And Please follow the sessions thoroughly and quickly, and please don't skip any session. Even though Prakalpana providing what we can calling as recording, listening class through recording is not give that much of impact by listening. What is that? A live session. So I ask you to people attend the classes regularly and lively. If you have any work, we can't do any urgent work, we can't do anything, you can go through recording link. So along with these things, do you want any other content in Springboard microservices? Now you people can speak. You can unmute your system. You can speak whatever the doubts you have about the course content. Do you want any extra thing? You can ask me. Yeah, one more thing, configuration servers are there. And one few, give me 1 minute of time. Fian client. Okay, Fian client. Next one, configuration server. Here I'm writing like a admin server, admin client, like that. We have a Fian client, configuration server. We have different things. Yeah. If you have anything, you can ask me, guys. Please unmute your systems. You can ask me. Do you have any doubts? Please, come on. Mohammed, Chejian, Pramosh, Ravi Kumar. Is everybody from India? Priyanka, Realme GT Master Edition.
Hi, I'm Srini Hassan. Yeah, my name has been wrongly. It's my new mobile, so it's displaying their mobile name. GT
Okay.
Master Edition.
How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, and I am actually working in like a work from home option. So okay. I'm continued for the past 2 years. I mean, after the pandemic start, I think I hope everyone also following the same.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. So my question here is, can I adjust the time? First of all, I will go with it. What is the price of this complete whatever?
Yeah, one second. And price and batch timing, you can talk with Prakalpana Technologies. Batch, okay, price and everything, you can, nothing but simply I can say like management related issue, you can talk with the Prakalpana management. So course wise, explanation wise, subject wise, content wise, if you have any queries, you can ask me. And I think so in the chart, her name is Swati.
Okay.
Yeah, she mentioned the what we can calling as.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Swati is there. If anybody having doubts related to batch timing as well as course fees, will you please contact to her? And Swati, will you please mention your phone number? I think already sent it by Swati, so you can contact with her.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Whatever the flexible timing you need, you can talk with the management.
Okay. Yeah. If
any
I have
issue with the course, please.
Yeah. If I have, say for example, you are doing this. I mean, starting these classes regularly. I mean, 11 to 12 o'clock. So the next day, if I have some urgent
not
work,
in this not in this time, my dear. I have one more batch in 11 to 12. In this time, this batch is not going to run. Some other timing. Management will talk with you.
Okay. And weekend, whether we have any off on weekends or we have a continue.
Yeah, Monday to Friday. Monday to as a corporate style. This is not a basic courses. I don't feel like you are a student. I am a trainer. We are just professionals. We need to maintain that grade. So we are the working employees. Whatever the knowledge I have, I'm sharing with you. That's enough. I'm not feeling like a trainer and you are the trainer. Will you please do? If you have that type of barriers, you can remove it. No issue.
Okay, and also we can have, say for example, if I skip one session,
Yeah.
on the same day, can we get that recorded session?
Yeah, sure.
As you have
Within the
mentioned?
1 hour, within the 1 hour or end of the day,
Mhm.
management will send the video. No problem.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Management will send.
And
No issue.
yeah, I think I covered my doubts so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope if you observe my course content, I didn't leave any single topic. See, these are the content names, but if you go through the internals, lot of things are there. I can't give each and every point. I think so around 100 points I mentioned. If I go to each and every point clearly as a demo, it will take a lot of time. It will take 3 to 4 hours,
Yeah.
4 hours of time. It is boring. That's why very quickly I adjusted this 1 hour session for course content.
Okay.
Do you
And
want anything else? You can ask me. Any new
okay.
topic? Yeah.
What is the complete duration of this course? Whatever we have covered, complete duration. I mean, whether it will take 2 months or
It's around 75 to 80 sessions, working sessions. 75.
okay,
We need 75.
80.
It's 80. You
Yeah,
can
80 divided
estimate
by
like
5.
8.
I can, because you have told 1 week we have 5 sessions.
5 days.
So 80 divided
If you
by
need,
5. So, yeah.
if everybody agree with that, like if you need extra session, I will conduct extra session. Today I'm taking on Sunday. If you want extra session, I can able to take. No issue.
Okay. Okay.
I'm very flexible with the training. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, whatever you have given a very brief description.
Thank you.
Even I didn't have a chance of these much. Even some words are new to me. For example, the JMeter kind of thing. Even I have worked for. I'm an experienced software professional, but after attending today's session, I have got to know some new words like JMeter and etc. Many other terms, MongoDB kind of thing, etc. And thanks for your wonderful presentation, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can I say, can I review the first steps on the screen? Yes, this is okay. Just to see, because I was late and
no issue. I will share this documentation. Please give your names. Otherwise, do one thing, my dear guys. Yes. This is my WhatsApp number, and anyhow, Swati given that number. Let me send through chat. Everyone, this is my WhatsApp number 8019904036. Okay, you can contact with the Swati, or you can contact to this number. This is just to mention like, hi, I will share this documentation. My documentation I will share. Course content documentation. Whatever the things I explained in today's session, I will share. Yeah, anyhow, if you want to see, you can see, my dear. No worries.
For international, it is +91, I think.
Because +91. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. From India. I'm from India, Hyderabad.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other? Guys, come on. Don't feel shy. Yeah. If you are experienced, you can easily cope up with me. If you are a fresher, don't worry. So here, Ramchandra is not only teaching Springboard and Microservices, some company-related subjects. I'm teaching core Java as well as advanced Java, and Spring also. So don't worry. I can handle the person who don't know Java, and also I can handle the person who is master in Java. As my knowledge, as my experience, I can say like this. Yeah. Any students here in this batch? If there is any students, you can ask me your doubts personally also, like through what personally means don't call. You can chat with me. Anyhow, Prakalpana maintaining some WhatsApp group for this batch. So if you have any queries, you can send. I can resolve those things at the end of the day. The reason is I'm busy with my classes as well as my work. That's why. Ravi Kumar, Pramosh. Any other queries, guys? And one more thing is, please contact to Swati, and she's going to support about how much course fees and what we can calling as a time, course timing, nothing but batch timing, everything she is going to help you. If other than course related things, if you have any queries related to, yeah, one more thing I want to tell you guys. I'm going to maintain for every 10 days and 15 days, I'm going to conduct one doubt session. In that doubt session, you can share your screen, you can ask me your doubts, and I'm going to resolve. If it is resolved within the class, no issue. Otherwise, I will take your project and handle, and I will give you back. So doubt sessions also available. The reason is, I told you already, this is the last course to enter into the IT company. Or already you are employee, then you can improve your skills on microservices. See guys, microservices, once you coming to the Restful Services mid and introduction of microservices, once you coming to the microservices, you are seeing the real application in the market. That much of in-depth concept we are going to see. But you need, you must and should be give proper enough time to speak. Yeah, up to now I spoke 45-50 minutes of time. After that I given. So you two also regularly, if you have any major doubt, you can ask me in the middle of the class. Otherwise you can ask me in the end of the class, no issue. I'm talking about theoretical. Once you coming to the programming, you and me should be interactive. See, don't be feel like it's a course, it's a project. It's a project. How we are mingling with our colleagues, how we are interacting with our testing team and UAT team, prod team. So like this, if it comes to the Jira is using by everybody. Jira is using by everybody. Jenkins is using by everybody. So it's like our company related project. Feel like that. Don't be feel like a course. Guys, is there any student? Or is it, are everybody employees? Okay, fine. Chalo, shall I wind up the session? Or if you want to talk with me? Guys, please.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, please, Ben.
I'm confused with something in microservices. When we talk about microservices, it is about orchestration of services, I think. And is that DevOps, what we say DevOps or not? Sorry if you don't want to answer.
I'm not understanding your words correctly.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking, my dear. So in the microservices?
Then what about microservices and DevOps?
Yeah, very good. Thank you for asking this beautiful question. Everybody, one of our member asking, like Ben asked one question like, what is microservices mean? See, let me take one product, or let me take one project. Initial days, like before 5 years, 4 years, people used to develop application by using monolithic. Please give me enough time to speak more clearly. Monolithic. So in the monolithic architecture, what happened, For example, this project providing some services. Assume, let me take, this is Amazon. More clear understanding. Amazon. In the Amazon, we have a lot of services like a tracking product, generating bill. You can say the invoice, generate bill, adding product to cart, adding port to cart, and you can say like booking the product, and cancel the product. Admin page, user page. Okay. So like this lot of services. Okay. According to this, what I mentioned here, totally 7 services are there. If it is a monolithic, all the services are developing as a one application. All the services are developing as a one application. This is the entire one application. My application name is Amazon. I make it as a either var or jar. This var file I'm going to deploy. This var file I'm going to deploy into the server machine. Let me treat it as it is a server. Okay, when all the services are available in one server, what happens, everybody making a request to this server only. Everybody making a request to this server only. So whenever making a request, everybody making a request to single server or single application, burden will be increases. Burden will be increases. For example, I'm giving 100 kgs of weight, one bag to you. So dragging that 100 kgs of bag or weighing that 100 kgs of bag from one location to another location, it may take difficult. It will take more time and it will be very difficult. Then what I'm doing, that 100 kgs of bag, I'm partition into 10, 10, 10, and I'm giving 10, 10, 10 bags to 10 members. Then I can easily shift my luggage from one location to another location. So monolithical means it's a group. All the services we are developing as a group wise. Within the one group, everything is there. But if it comes to the microservices, yeah, tracking product is one application, a separate application. It will be launching in the separate server or same server, no issue. Generating bill, it is a separate application. Adding product cart, it's one separate application. This we are technically calling as API, REST API. Service, REST API means the application which is providing the services to consumers. That is called REST API. Every service is one API, nothing but every service is one application. All these applications finally grouped together. These are located in different areas. Like our class, you might be in one country and some other person is available in another country and one more guy is staying in some other country, but you people finally grouped through Zoom meeting. So it is like a microservices. Different things are grouped one area. So in the monolithical means it's like a classroom. Everybody is sitting in the same class, no flexibility. Microservices means they can be sitting their own areas but listening the class. See, for example, let me show you small thing. Let me show you one small microservice application. See, I have 3 clients and 1 server. Otherwise, let me tell you like this. How many products are totally 7? How many services are there? Totally 7 services. These 7 services are grouping into one var file and deploy into the server. Then what happened? Multiple requests, multiple person. One person may sending the request for tracking product. One more person for sending the request for generating the bill. Different people will sending the request for different people. Different services. Here, how many services? 7. Maybe tracking product is using by thousands of members. So in daily life wise, millions and trillions of requests are coming to our application, millions and trillions. Then how to handle those millions and trillions requests? If everything is dumped into one package or one group, it's load button. That's why there is a concept like microservice. Individually services are what we can call it as a partition, and finally they are grouping. So in coming classes, you can see more clarity. It's very simple here. What is microservices? Instead of developing all the services as a group, we are going to developing the services individually. if you go through our previous courses like core or advanced, if you're developing any multiplication, any calculation application, what we people are doing, addition method, subtract method, multiplication method, division, modulus division, we are writing within the only one class. But that is called monolithical. Every service is one class and assume like it is one project. But if it comes to the microservices, addition is one separate application. Subtraction is one separate application like this. So that is the basic explanation. That's what I didn't highlight that point. I taken one real-time scenario. What is that? Tracking product is one service. It's acting like a one application. Generate bill is one service. It's acting like a one application. And these applications may running in same server or may running in different server. So to developing this REST microservice based application, microservice is not a framework. Microservice is not a software. Okay, microservice is an approach to developing application. What flexibility, more performance. Otherwise, if you observe my what we can calling as documentation, see here I clearly mention. 1 minute. See, microservice is not a programming language. It's not a technology. It's not a framework. It's not an API. It's just an architecture to develop an application with loosely coupled. Loosely coupled means every services existed as an individually, and finally they are going to group. So more practical explanation we'll see. Okay, maybe yeah. What is the main advantage of microservices is if you are go with the monolithical tracking product, assume you are the Java developer. You are developing this application by using Java. Tracking product logic you are writing with the Java. Generating bill, add booking product to cart, okay, cancel the product, admin page, user page, everything you are going to write by using Java only. But if you go through the microservice, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of microservices. Tracking product, Java, generating bill, Python, adding product cart, .NET, booking, what is that? Cancel the product, some small talk. Different languages we can able to group. So this is once you are good at a distributed application, then whenever we apply any passport, internally it will asking Aadhaar card details. Aadhaar card is different application, passport is a different application. How these two are mingling each other, or how these two are interacting and collaborating each other. Distributed. Once we are very good at distributed application, meaning you can easily understand microservices. So monolithical means everything is packed and developing by using only one programming language. Microservices means services are executing individually and they can be developing on different languages, and finally they are going to group. Grouped means what? Just calls, making a request. Just making a request from one services to another service, like method calling. From main method to calling main M1 method, from M1 method to M2 method. In the childhood we learn how to call the methods. So like that, this is also like a method calling. Inter server communication or inter API communication, external API communication, different types of communications you are going to see under the microservices. So in the microservices main, before concentrate on microservices, we must and should be good at load balancing. Initially monolithical we are using. So if the multiple requests are increases, then how can we distribute that? Multiple requests are coming to our application. How handle? Multiple requests are increases. Keep on requests are increases. How can we handle in the real time? These things comes under what your load balancing. I hope I given a proper information about microservices. More clearly you can see in our regular session. Yeah. Any other queries, guys? Yeah, Ben, are you comfortable? Do you want more?
Okay, Ben? Okay, that's clear. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
that's clear.
It's okay. Thank you. Hey, any other?
Hi, trainer. I'm Pramos. Yes, do you have a blog? I mean, do you have some blog sites?
No, I don't have any blog sites. Basically, I have my own YouTube channel.
Okay, can you provide
it? Yeah, please. I launched in the last year, but I'm very busy with my classes and my what we can calling as my work schedule. I'm not uploading. I'm unable to uploading the videos. So here only 8 to 10 videos I uploaded. Later I stopped it.
Okay, so
okay.
basically I was asking. asking because you are a very good teacher. So I think that your blogs would be good. So I wanted to read it.
Yeah, don't worry. If you need anything, then you can share your ideas. Then I can upload those videos in my YouTube channel. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will
By the
share.
way, thank
See
you for
this.
this presentation. It was good. I was here all the way, and thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Pramush. Any other? Yeah, definitely. I will share all my mail details and YouTube channel details. Everything I will share. Don't worry. Just this is the just interaction. Okay, this is the just first weekend party in the company. In coming class, we'll see more and more clear. Any other queries, guys? Ravi Kumar, Srini. Yeah, I hope I given proper information about Springboard microservices, and this is what exactly our demo. And as a friend, as a well-wisher, I want to share you one thing, guys. It's the words which I'm going to speak right now. This is my bottom of my heart. Please learn subject with proper manner, with realistic manner. Don't be, that's what I given freedom already. Don't be think like it's just a classroom training or any training. It's like our project. Okay, you can feel like that. Then only you will get the subject more clearly. Don't be treat like I'm your trainer, I'm the boss. Okay, anyhow, in our companies, we are very friendly with our team lead and project. So how to handle the team lead problems which arises in the team, those things also I'm going to tell you. Don't worry. How to act, be smart in the companies. I'm going to tell you those things. And especially, I am always talking with the employees, the people who are fresher, please talk with me. I will give more suggestions to get the job. Which experience we have to put. Okay, what is, if you have any gap, please share with me. I will fulfill that. I will give some ideas. Okay, if you are a student, you can talk with me. Anyhow, in the chart, I mentioned my phone number. Already I mentioned my phone number, so you can chat with me through WhatsApp. And as well as very soon, once we start the batch and concluding about batch timing and fee and everything, we are going to maintaining some group also. Don't worry. Everybody can share your ideology and thoughts within the group. If you have any doubt, ask me whenever I have a free time, and I will give a response. Okay. And anyhow, I'm always trying you people to leave the class without confusion. Okay. This is just, see, you can easily understand. For course content, I spend around 1.5 hour time. For talking about the actual content, so you can estimate. Okay. So any other queries, guys? Please go ahead. Okay. Chalo. That's all for today's session. Again, we are comes with proper timing and everything. Management will talking about all these things very soon.